working. And of course, it's quite easy so that you can interact with each other and with different project partners through the different features that it has. In general, the presentation, I'm not going to go into very much detail, but it's meant to be as a resource to you so that you can reuse it, or whenever you have a question about Basecamp, here it can serve as a manual. But I will also show you the platform so that you have a little bit of an idea. So you can access Basecamp, and in there you're going to see that the work has been divided into the different working packages. And the creation and the attachment of the users, it will be administrated by MioXZ. After the kickoff meeting these days, we will come back to you, of course, to send you all the material that it is related, but also to invite you to the email addresses that you're gonna give us so that we can send a personalized invitation for all of you to join Basecamp. Exactly. So the people from your organizations, from your schools, that they're going to have an active role in the implementation of the project, and they will be dealing with different documents or reports. They should be the ones to have access in Basecamp. You will see that once you have logged in, this is how it will look like, but maybe we can see that already here. Yes, in the application. So this is how Basecamp looks like. You can see here on the first lineup, you have all the most important features, which is the home feature. The lineup here, which shows a lineup, a timeline of the working packages that you are going to be responsible, or you would be leading or co-leading. The pinks is to have a personal chat space with another partner that you want, or a group chat if you prefer as well. The hey is to give you some news about the project, and the activity shows you a timeline of all the activities that took place in Basecamp, so you can always access them or to see how the work of the working package, for example, has been progressive over months. It gives you this option here through a clear timeline and different filters to be easier to find what exactly you're looking for. And here on my stuff, it's going to be your personal assignments. I'm going to explain a little bit better that when you're going to have a deliverable that you're going to be responsible to, it's going to be given to you as an assignment in Basecamp. Your bookmarks, your schedule, your drafts, and whatever is related to your profile. Also, I think I welcome you. It's always a nice idea here in your profile. You can also add your photo so that it's easier now also that we all know each other personally, to identify the specific partner or individual you want to work with on something specific or chat about the specific activity. So these are the general aspects. And here also there is a schedule that you can add events. And here you cannot see anything, but in the assignment task here, if there is a certain assignment or a deadline that you have to deliver, this is the place that you're gonna receive a notification. As you can see now, we have organized it into the different working packages, the PARCEE Basecamp profile, let's say. So if we click on the first one, working package 1 and management, you're going to see that by default, all working packages are organized like that. There is a message board where here you can see announcements or the discussions that you're going to open about how you want to work or implement an activity. The to-dos is the most important one, let's say. But here, for example, you're going to see each activity, for example, related deadlines or meetings, and anything else you want to add. It's still work in progress, so this is not considered the final, and also you cannot see the different other users in Basecamp right now, but as soon as you all join in and you make an account, then you're going to have the tasks and to-dos. But without your access to Basecamp, we cannot assign you a specific task. But it has everything quite well organized here. Also, quite important in your working package to see who other people are involved. So here you can see the people as in Mio that we have created an account and we are responsible for working package one. But this is quite important because in order for other people to receive a notification that you have uploaded something in this working package or started a chat or a discussion, the correct people need to be set up here. Otherwise, they're never going to receive a notification about it. This is also the quite important feature of Basecamp, which is the docs and files. Here, all documents and deliverables related to the project and the specific working package can be uploaded, and you can all have access to it. It's going to be like our online repository. But the most important thing to know about it is that the documents cannot be edited online or can be used or changed by multiple users at one time. So whenever something is uploaded, it should be the final form or a document in progress, but you cannot track the changes. You have to replace it with a newer version when this happens. So if, for example, you have an activity or a deliverable that you want comments from other colleagues or partners, when you have received all comments and you have a newer version, then it's better to replace it with a newer version. This is the only main difference with a typical Google or online drive, but at the same time, it's more safe to make sure that the final versions are online and everybody has access to that. What else? Here also we have the chat. It's almost like the message board. You will see that when you will create an account, this is going to be linked to your email address. So whatever is posted there, you're going to receive a notification in your email. This, of course, you can deactivate it if you don't want to receive so many notifications, but it is meant to be used on a daily basis or at least weekly, so that each and one of us is aware of all the updates or if something has been uploaded on the Basecamp.
Made on Basecamp, but PARCEE say something to you or you say something to you, you can immediately reply through your email. You don't have to log into the platform. So just by replying, the platform will incorporate your reply. You don't have to log in.
Exactly.
There an app on the phone.
I'm sure there's an application on the phone. Yeah, yeah. But this is the thing, you can use it in a more personalized way. You can reply in Basecamp, you can reply through your email, you can have it as a bookmark here on top and just check it from day to day. It's up to you the way you will use it. But the most important thing for us is to make sure whenever we communicate something, all the people that needs to be on the loop about it receive a notification. Another very important thing also is these three dots here, which also can make you, can help you personalize the working packages you are involved in by putting it as switching between working packages and the work you're doing. However, this option right here, archive or delete, please don't ever use it because it might create some permanent damage to the channel. And even me as admin of the channel for PARCEE will not be able to restore the information that was sold. So this is a no. What do you mean history? Yes, there is. You're not really sure sometimes, and with the online dog, so better avoid it, I would say. If it is for a specific document, just replace it with a new one or delete it. This is much easier, but not the work package because it will destroy a little bit the form of it. That is all, I think, all the main elements. Do you have any questions? Do you feel confident in using such a tool in your daily life? It is, yes. But it organizes the work very well, and the access that all of us are going to have into documents and deliverables of the project is going to be much easier than losing yourself in millions of emails. Also here, this question mark is for asking questions and support, so you can directly type a specific question that you might have. But apart from that, we are also by your side in this. So if you have a specific question or don't know how to upload certain documents, we can of course facilitate you in this. There's not much to show around the Basecamp right now because only a few documents have been uploaded, but bear in mind that the project partners that they are leading a working package just have ownership of it and use it the way you want to use it and communicate with the involved partners. And yeah, the presentation I think can serve as a manual. It has a step-by-step guide on how to create your profile and how to organize your work in the different work packages with the different elements.
Maybe at the beginning, since we are requesting their emails for all the partners. So once you're back, or even before tomorrow, you have your mind group, your colleagues to be involved in the project. So we collect these emails and we do this first assignment of emails per work package. Then we combine the whole group behind the project, and then you just click on and spend the issues after we assign you the colleagues.
We have.
It's not together. If we need to do that at any time in the project, we will find out a way. It's a library where I can find this mission, I can find this deliverable, find the done, some stuff, whatever I want is there. Now the work package is developed, we will have all of our deliverables live. So as soon next week we will have some documents of this meeting, the agenda and all the material that we need as part of this meeting will be there.
Exactly. We have set up also a small Excel table to collect this information from you. So which are the email addresses that needs to have access to Basecamp. Also, for example, if you have specific communication officers or colleagues that they will be dealing with the communication aspects of the project so that we know who to communicate at any time. Yes, I don't know. Just don't be afraid to use it. You're gonna see after a couple of weeks, you're gonna get the hang of it. And yeah, just remember that it's a good library. You can always chat with your colleagues if you want to talk about specific things. And it keeps a report of all the activities in their timeline. So it will make reporting so much easier. Yes. I don't see any questions. Yes, La Candidate is with us. Carlota, I don't know if you want to say hello. Oh, yes, there she is. Hi, Carlota.
Hi to everyone.
Hello. some.
So
So if there are no questions on base camp and the presentation that Harry showed in the way that we can use this map, let us proceed with the other three aspects of the management work package. And we will begin with quality assurance, the package, the activity 1.2. What is the aim? Is to jointly develop and implement an internal quality and impact assessment plan under the overall responsibility, of course, of MIO as the coordinator. What are the tools we use? Quality assurance and control. We use mainly the Gantt chart for guidance and quality standards for the results. And we suggest that we establish a quality assurance committee. And this is something that is open for discussion if we want to establish such a committee, the members of the committee, and it's something for the discussion part. You cannot hear me? Yeah. Okay. Okay. I will. Okay, Papa, you hear me better. Of course, other tools that are going to be used are evaluation questionnaires, which will be designed and used for the implementation efficiency after each project event, meaning meetings, training courses, and the entire implementation phase. And of course, questionnaires for evaluating management, coordination, the partnership, the effectiveness of the work packages. And these questionnaires will be shared in month 12 and month 24 to check achievements, milestones, and assess the progress and project results. Of course, the final tool will be the interim reports in month 12 and month 24, which will help analyze the main findings and take corrective measures as necessary. These tools are going to be developed with the collaboration of all partners, of course, by the coordinator, and we hope to have the support of the Cyprus Pedagogical Institute here, so we can use their experience on managing this kind of Erasmus projects. Of course, all partners will contribute to the monitoring by developing brief 6-month report, activity reports, referring to progress on task implemented, on administrative and financial issues, and on dissemination activities which are in the planning stage or are accomplished.
Before you go to the next,
yes.
Quality assurance. On the quality assurance and control, we'll go later also some indicators, but we need to, if you are aware of any particular, if you have any particular experience with that on quality assurance in line projects we have participated, is good to tell us. We have some, but it is they are not very standardized. These quality assurances are big sui generis in different projects. So this is one of the things I want to discuss. It's a different thing if we follow the provisions. You know, there are two things here in the quality assurance: is doing the things right and doing the right things. So, so these two are both the quality assurance, and doing the right things is the most important. Because the other, you can see if I have notified things, if I have used the roadmap, the time, so this is, we may come back that later on. But if you have any experience on that, please share.
Yes, we count on that and would like to build upon experience that is already known by partners of the project. So we will come back to that with asking for more information, and also we will discuss about this quality assurance committee.
We are in charge of quality assurance project.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Okay, so the other factor for a good implementation, overall implementation of the project is risk management. So the coordinator, assisted by all project partners, will develop a risk management plan to be the basis for continuous risk assessment and review. The risk management plan will develop around the following axes, which are already identified in our proposal: risk identification, risk analysis and evaluation, qualitative and quantitative, risk prioritization based on impact, and monitoring. So each major risk will be monitored, and one of the following approaches will be selected to address it. This is at least what we have mentioned in our proposal. So for the risk, we will evaluate them and either avoid, eliminate the threat by eliminating the cause, mitigate, identify ways to reduce the probability or the impact of the risk, accept the risks. So if nothing can be done, and transfer, make another party responsible for the risk. This is the much preferred option, I think, for everyone to transfer the risk somewhere. But these are serious approaches that we need to discuss when actually developing the risk management plan. Already during the submission, we have identified some threats that could negatively impact the quality of plant activities and results. And here are some of these risks for us to discuss and the proposed remedial actions. Limited synchronization among partners. So what we can do, collective implementation of the management plan, constant and open communication. This is why close and continuous communication among all project partners is considered really important. And we hope that the management tool, Basecamp, will help in enhancing our communication. Scarcity of resources. This is another important threat. And for that, an early warning on budgetary or personnel issues should be very important in order to have time to implement corrective actions. So each one of you that you feel that the budget allocated for specific activities is not sufficient or is not enough, or there are problems with personnel involved in the activity, early warning, it is very important so that we can take corrective actions. Another threat might be that dissemination material are insufficiently developed. So in this case, we need to review the dissemination tools to fit with the quality plan standards, update material, stronger coordination action by the involved partners or external agents as needed. Another threat might be a problematic collection, delivery of supporting documents. In this case, coordinator will reach out well before the deadlines to allow early preparation, communicate well the upcoming deadlines to all project partners. This is really important. Insufficient involvement of target group. This might be another threat. What we can do, for example, strengthen communication with target groups and revisit communication planning and strategy. These are, of course, some indicative threats that were identified and the corrective measures to be taken. So while developing the risk management plan, more threats can be identified by each one of you, depending on your local reality, and these should be taken in the risk management plan with the proper remedial action. I don't know if there is any question here before we proceed with the next part. Since we are going now, the next will be administration and financial coordinator. If there is any question regarding these two aspects, which is the risk management and the quality assurance, perhaps it would be a good time now, or shall I continue?
I think we may continue and discuss all these aspects together.
Okay, so part 3 of the management of the project is administrative and financial coordination. Of course, all project partners are responsible for managing efficiently the budget assigned to them for the implementation of the project activities. And project partners will be in charge of coordinating their activities and contribute to the deliverables as assigned to them by making the best use of the allocated resources. The coordinator, of course, will be in charge of the overall project financial management and will ensure the correct understanding by all project partners of Erasmus Plus financial rules concerning the lump sum model. A seminar will follow, a dedicated seminar will follow, as soon as we are also informed by the national agency of the new rules that apply with the Erasmus lump sum project. Because the funding model has changed. Now the funding model is a lump sum, which is different than the funding model for the period from the previous Erasmus period during 2014-2020. The new rules are based on the following principles. The grant has now the form of one single fixed amount, single lump sum, covering all costs of eligible activities linked to the implementation of the project. For our project, the lump sum is 400,000 euros. The lump sum amount chosen at the proposal stage cannot be modified during the project implementation. It becomes a characteristic of the project and it can only be reduced at final report stage due to poor, partial, or late implementation, or to force majeure according to the rules stated in the grant agreement. The final payment of the lump sum will depend on the level of achievement of the project objectives and the quality of the project results, which is really important. And because the project will be judged on its deliverables and not on its financial reporting. If the deliverables are not as expected, then the funds allocated to the specific deliverable will be reduced, irrespective of our spending in order to produce the specific deliverable. So this is a major difference. It's very simple. It's more simple to report this way, but it's more result-oriented. It's not like because we spend the money, we are going to be reimbursed for the expenses made. If the quality of the deliverable is not as expected, then we may lose money invested in it. So quality of the deliverables are really important. Of course, there is also the co-financing and the no-profit rule. All grants funded by the European Union budget in the context of Erasmus Plus shall comply with these two principles, co-financing and no-profit. The principle of co-financing implies that the resources necessary to carry out the action are not provided entirely by the grant. This, in other words, means that the results produced should be in such a quality and quantity that they demonstrate by themselves that more amount than the 400,000 euros contributed by the Erasmus Plus were invested by all partners in accomplishing these deliverables. This is why, as you will see in the detailed budget analysis, for example, one of the deliverables, which is the communication plan, is offered by all partners. There is no budget allocated to the development of the communication plan. It's considered something offered by all partners. This is the in-kind contribution of all partners. In the same respect, all partners will be invited to contribute by in-kind resources like meeting places or additional work or work of their volunteers and things like that. We are not required to demonstrate the co-financing by means of a detailed project budget. The compliance to these principles will be assessed based on the information provided in the description of the activities. The evaluators must be convinced that the value of the activities to be implemented is higher than the amount requested. Of course, in line with the no-profit principle, the grant shall not have the purpose or effect of producing a profit within the framework of the action or the work program of its beneficiary. I think this is well understood and is in line with all EU funding.
Let me ask you something here. The question on the first, when we are talking the principle of co-finance, it is okay, yes. If we manage to raise additional funds for the project, for enhancing the number or the depth or the activity, whatever, is it eligible?
It is eligible, I guess. The national agency will not need any documentation. It will be eligible as long as we can demonstrate that the additional funding results to additional deliverables.
Sure.
We cannot raise funds for the same deliverables.
No, but I mean, this is something important because some partners may raise funds from private or other sources and describe some activities, particularly for schools or in the, for example, in Corsica. If you have an additional fund, to multiply activities with others.
Yes, I think this is eligible, but in the terms that additional deliverables will be reported.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, as long as we have to report additional deliverables, then other funding or co-financing in kind will be reported against those additional deliverables. I don't think that we can raise funds to implement the deliverables already described.
No, I'm talking about over and above.
So this is why we need to have some activities that are offered by all project partners. So part of the management, part of the communication activities, part of the dissemination activities that are being done through the channels that each one of the partners anyway have and work with are part of our co-financing, and this is what we are going to report in our interim and final reports concerning co-financing. So
Well,
you need to have this in mind.
It is clear, and what I want to say is that this is why we have put the communication activity with no funds for everybody. So we can demonstrate easily that this is our offer. And definitely dissemination activities or additional things as the one we discussed about having something additional, pillows or whatever, these kind of activities can clearly demonstrate that there will be over and above what we planned activities not budgeted and not asking for funds. Okay, fine.
Now we'll continue with activities covered by this lump sum, by the budget that is allocated to each one of the partners. The single lump sum shall be used to cover all costs related to the implementation of eligible activities falling within the scope of partnership for cooperation, such as, for example, project management, planning, finances, coordination and communication between partners, monitoring and supervision. Each one of the partners have a budget under work package 1, which is for project management. Learning activities are to be covered by this lump sum. Teaching and training activities, meeting and events, project deliverables, publication, material, documents, tools, products, etc. And of course, activities aimed at sharing project results. All these activities are actually what we have included as activities in PARCEE during the proposal phase and submission. In order to be eligible, activities must take place in the countries of the organization participating in the project, with the exception of activities taking place at the seat of an institution of the European Union or in relevant thematic transnational events or conference. This means that unless they are there is an activity already described in the proposal and the work plan that needs to take place in another country. We don't have such an activity planned in PARCEE, but in case we need to organize a dissemination event, either in the seat of the institution of the European Union, we may do that. So typical costs linked to such activities would be travel and subsistence, equipment, cost for publication and editing of materials, IT development, such as creating a website, and of course, staff and human resources costs for all partners. Now, budget management. There is flexibility in the management of the lump sum as long as the activities are implemented as foreseen in the proposal and the expected results remain the same. You see that the new focus is on activities, the new focus is on deliverables. You don't have here a strict follow-up of the management as in previous Erasmus project. We haven't submitted with the proposal a very detailed financial analysis. We have only submitted the distribution of the budget among the various work packages and the partners. That's all. So there is a flexibility for each partner to handle its own budget, as long as the implementation is as foreseen in the project proposal. So the focus is on delivery, the focus is on activities. But in any case, if we need to formalize a change in the breakdown of the lump sum shares among the partners, this will require an amendment of the overall contract and agreement. If we need to implement significant changes in terms of content in the project, then again, we need to request an amendment of the grant agreement. Depending on the changes, a modification of the budget allocation may be needed. The national agency will assess the amendment request, and if approved, it will become part of the grant agreement. There is a flexibility there, but this is only on a very, if it is an absolute need to change something. For the moment, we follow the proposal and deliverable and budget management as it is presented and approved by the national agency. Unless, this is why we have this kickoff meeting and we present everything in such a detail, unless someone of you finds that it's something is extremely or totally wrong, that will put us in such a position to modify. It's not easy. We have all experienced that by changing partner before the project even started. we have all experienced what the process of changing a project partner. And this was somewhat easier because the agreements were not signed yet when we changed the partner. So we first changed partner and then we signed the agreement. Now that we have a signed agreement, everything will be much more difficult and time consuming. But of course, there is an option there. And this is what I would like to highlight. We can introduce changes to work packages, activities, only if the work package or activity is not already completed, which means that we can change something in the work package, but only before it is completed or due the time in the timeline, it is still active. If it is completed, we cannot, of course, change anything. At reporting stage, the amount paid for each activity of work package will always be the same as what was allocated at application stage or amendment stage, which means that we need to report for every work package the amount that it was originally allocated to this work package, unless, of course, we have made an amendment. And what is the most important? Grant reductions may occur and will only depend on the level of achievement of the objectives of the activities, work package, and the quality of the results. At the end of the project, we may experience a grant reduction if we haven't delivered as planned. I'm repeating that again and again because I think it's very important to know, and because it's something, it's a new policy. And it's for project management is a new idea, is a new concept that what we have spent is connected directly and evaluated not by your spending, but by what we have delivered.
And it's not only the number of deliverables and the quantity of work, but the quality of it.
The quality of the delivery.
Which makes it always, it is like a Damokles's
Now, for the coordination part, MIO will try, of course, to establish an efficient internal financial monitoring and reporting system. And this will include the semi-annual monitoring of the proper implementation of the eligible activities, falling within the scope of the tasks undertaken by the partners, ensuring that the produced deliverables correspond to the budget spent by its project partners in accordance with the Erasmus Plus financial rules, assisting and supporting project partners in preparing their reports, of course, receive the grant agreement from the national agency, distributed to all project partners. This is something that is already done. You have all by now received your partners agreement. Some of you have already returned it signed. I hope that the others will do that in the coming weeks so that we have also signed agreements with all of you. And of course, the coordinator will be responsible for distributing to all partners the advance and other payments as received by the national authority. We need to say here that there is a delay in receiving the advance payment due to the request posed to us by the national authority to submit a financial guarantee for this advance payment of 40%. So MIO was asked to issue a letter of guarantee in order to receive the pre-financing. It was not very clear to us either that this is a very demanding process, and the bank only today gave us the green light that they accept and they approve the issuing of this guarantee letter. And we have applied like a month ago to the bank. And only today they called us and said that, okay, your request was approved. And now they need to proceed with the agreement between us and the bank, and then issuing the guarantee letter, and then we need to submit to the national authority. and get the pre-financing in order to be able to send the 15% refinancing to our partners. We aim to do that before Christmas because also the national agency is keen to distribute the money before the change of the year. So this is something that we are working almost every day, and we are in close contact with the bank.
Let me say here that this is something we didn't expect, we didn't know about, because as universities or national agencies are not requested to have a guarantee. But MIO is a non-governmental organization, and we were not aware. It is nowhere in the documents that we are asked to deposit 160, 180,000 for 3 years in the bank in order to run the program, which is a huge burden. We were not aware of that, and this is particularly because we have EU projects, and there are conditions there. We fulfill these conditions, and we don't have to deposit a guarantee for a guarantee letter. But the Greek authority, according to some interpretation of the rules, they ask us, in order not to issue the letter, to have a profit. But we are a non-profit organization at the definition. So it is totally, it is out of question how we can do that. So this is something really a big issue and a big burden, because it is first that we deposit this money, we cannot use it. And second, that in servicing, inverted commas, service this obligation, the bank asks for further money. So we are going to, I don't know how much, because we are negotiating at the moment.
We are negotiating, but the normal rate is 1.25% per quarter, which means like 2,000 euros per quarter, the basic rate of the bank. We have, of course, asked for better terms, as we are a non-profit organization, and we are going to discuss tomorrow with the manager of the branch that we are working with to get a better term, because if we need to invest 24,000 out of the management budget to maintain a guarantee letter, it's absolutely crazy. And
you imagine, we put all this money there, we cannot use it.
The bank can use it as
the bank uses it, and we pay another 24,000.
Because it is for 3 years, for the entire duration of the project. We need to keep the guarantee letter for the entire duration of the project. So we need, if the rate is not changed, we need to invest 24,000 euros out of the 80,000, that is the management component, to cover the cost of the guarantee. We have pointed that out to the national agency, to the Greek national agency, and they said that it's not up to them. This is the direction they had from the EU financial services, and we even asked them to reduce the pre-financing to 80,000 instead of 160. And they said, no, this is not doable. And if we do, and if you do not submit this guarantee letter, then you will lose the project.
You lose the project, and it goes to the next.
And go to the next runner-up.
So
which is totally crazy.
And we didn't know about it, because it's not in the documents.
Yes, and I think that the financial criteria they apply are to assess the financial capacity of consultancies, of agencies, and not NGOs.
Small and medium enterprises.
Yes, small and medium enterprises,
Yeah.
not NGOs.
This is the case only in
Yes.
No, it is, it's not, because the obligation came from the central financial agency of the European Commission on Erasmus. And actually, as we
Yes,
learned,
that's saying there.
this is the first time, the first year, perhaps it is connected to the new lump sum funding model. It's something that is connected to this, so that they do not request any financial reporting from the beneficiaries. And this is why they assess their financial capacity, but in terms of the open market of enterprises. And they have left out the non-governmental organizations, because under the same financial evaluation, MIO has scored well in previous projects that we were assigned, but there were funding lines for NGOs. So the financial capacity assessment criteria, they were different, more adjusted to an NGO, because an NGO cannot show profit. And the only way that we could score positively in this criteria that they used on Erasmus Plus is if we had, because I do the exercise, I do the math, because there is online the tool that you can check. And only if we had 100,000 euros profit, 100,000 euros of profit per year.
A year. This is absolutely, this is absolutely crazy, but we managed. I said that this is crazy, but we have managed to find to fix and have this amount of money that we need to block, but now we need to negotiate with the bank and see how we can reduce the 24,000. This is where we are.
Okay, so to move on. Okay. Time management. To ensure time management, the coordinator will monitor progress of activities and will act beforehand on any delays occur. At least that is the plan. All project partners, we will have to agree on a common work plan with the specific deadlines for activities, results, and deliverables. And as we have done until now, during the kickoff, we are going to finalize the Gantt chart, and all partners will agree. And the final Gantt chart will be shared through Basecamp to allow frequent and easy consultation and necessary updates. Basecamp will be used for sharing project documents, information, and draft deliverables as needed, as already presented by Harris. Project meetings will be held in accordance to the Gantt chart, and they will also provide the opportunity and means to follow up on the action plan, on the various deadlines, and on progress of tasks and responsibilities allocated to each partner. The Gantt chart, the action plan, and means of these meetings will represent the main tools to guarantee appropriate time monitoring and management. To follow progress, quarterly online meetings will be scheduled with all partners to assess work, obstacles, difficulties encountered, apply corrective measures as needed, and plan for the next quarter. 3 of these quarterly meetings will be held physically. The first is the current meeting, kickoff meeting in Athens. The second will be the midterm meeting of month 18, which is to be organized in Cyprus. And at month 35, the final project meeting with the final event to be held in Italy. Of course, ad hoc online meetings with all project partners may be scheduled in case delays are constantly observed to define the root causes of these delays and find the best solution to guarantee the project's high quality. Now, as a summary, the task for all partners under Work Package 1. Manage efficiently the budget assigned to them for carrying out their activities. Coordinate their activities and contribute to the deliverables as assigned to them, making the best use of the allocated resources. Contribute to the development of the internal quality and impact assessment plan and implement it in the framework of the project activities. Contribute to the development of a risk management plan for the project activities. Participate and contribute to the kickoff meeting. Participate and contribute to the quarterly online project meetings, also to the midterm and final project meetings. Prepare and submit on time progress, interim and final reports. Ensure that their activities are designed in an accessible and inclusive way. We will come back to that during the planning of its activities because it is important. Also in terms, it is an aspect that was highlighted also in the proposal, that all activities will be accessible and inclusive. Of course, ensure that they will incorporate green practices in the different project phases as described in the project submission. And I think that is all. And I'm here to answer any question or to open the discussion on this Work Package 1 coordination.
Thank you very much, Bessie, and thank you very much, Kylie, for presenting this first package on management. All what has been presented also by me and the group, the available group. But if there are points that are unclear, we need to and repetition or whatever is fine. In other words, what has been presented with roadmap needs to be agreed today. If you want more time to see it, I am prepared to suspend the discussion on this till tomorrow. But we need till the end of the meeting. We had some clarification before. We may make a note of what it was said by both the Pedagogical Institute and Marino before about the explanation about the implementation phase. If there is something else in addition we need to note, please let us discuss it. And for the other elements about the risk assessment of the quality assurance and the rest, we are here to discuss. We need to discuss also the work package results and indicators. We have it here.
We have it here, but actually the deliverables of this Work Package 1 are the meetings and the report, things that we already discussed. So there are no specific indicators. The indicators are the ones to be the quality assurance plan.
Well, you said something that we have some experience with quality assurance. Could you elaborate a little bit of what kind of indicators you have in mind or something like that?
There are many indicators. Very successful quality assurance in the platform. There is a set of indicators which covers all the tasks of the project, and we have developed specific tools to measure the quality of the tasks from project meetings until board packages. I can share it with you. And I can also share you the first report, which explains how we measured things and how we produced the final report, the interim report until now. Yes.
It will be very useful to see. We have quality assurance and indicators and other things in other projects like SWIM, like other projects. But I think these are more specific here. In other projects, we have also the impact assessment, which is not here. We don't see it here as impact assessment. But it can be the impact assessment can be used also as quality assurance and providing actually for the quality at the end of the day, the result of this. And the quality and the impact is used in two ways. The one that we are all, I think, familiar with the questionnaires before and after the activity, either to educators or to students. And this could be definitely needs to be deployed both for the transition and for the innovative packages. But in example, in the West program, we have also impact, measuring impact several months or year after the implementation of the after the intervention, educational intervention, by randomly selecting people from the different target groups through interviews, either face-to-face or online, where we collect also the impact after some time. And this has two things again. One is what they have, for example, educators, what they have achieved since the training. They have developed the program, applied the program, and so on and so forth. Or with the learners, what has been their activity and what they still remember or what they have done. So these are some of the tools we have used, are not per se indicators of quality assurance, but impact is the most important, let's say, result of good quality. So we can use some of these tools, additional tools, in convincing the contract authorities about the value of what we have done. So we are going to decide about some of these indicators and some of these approaches be enriched, let's say, somehow, methodology assessment. But it will be nice to see what we have in the answer.
We are in charge of the impact assessment, so which has a different set of tools and it has a given. We are in charge of the impact assessment as well, which has a different set of tools and methodologies, but it is more complicated than the quality assurance surveys. Let's stick to quality assurance.
not complicate our lives.
We have good results from, at least from West with the impact assessment. Now, with this, the simple surveys I mentioned before.
I think impact assessment would be something that will come out of the implementation of the two educational materials as
Yes.
part of the pre and post evaluation. So the impact assessment may take the form of this, how the project had, what impact the program had on the beneficiaries and the school children, the teachers and the educators in general. I think the impact assessment can be incorporated there in the pre and post evaluation.
This is what we may enlarge with enhance as we have done in the other projects.
I don't know if you want to discuss about this committee. We need to establish the student committee and how it's best to do that.
First of all, let's say that this package is under the leadership of MIO with all others, but also under the Cyprus Pedagogical Institute. I mean, we have put several of the partners because we need to have to show that all partners have responsibilities, but it was said from the beginning that everybody is invited to contribute and share experiences here. So for this, for the quality assurance, definitely MIO and Cyprus Pedagogical Institute will be there. Also, we could perhaps you with the experience you have in this committee. And I don't know if someone else wants to be there for the two other. Yeah, we have already there. So the MIO and Pedagogical Institute are also we have the school of Rafina. And I don't know if we or someone else wants to be. We don't need to be everybody everywhere, but because what we are going to elaborate will be shared globally, and you will have the opportunity to comment. So we start on this three, and if someone else wants to join, we will get. Do I understand that we agree with this roadmap? Is there any question or something that is a presentation or something? We explained that in package 4, the period of application will definitely focus on the 2 semesters, the period that the schools are in full operation. We have a larger and longer period there to allow for flexibility and also for eventual activities, additional activities of non-formal nature, non-formal education. Because it's a decision. Is there, Alessandra, you have, do you follow?
Yes, I'm following. Yeah.
Okay. Is there something that is unclear? I think Carlotta from the Gabiente, welcome. So, is it clear? Okay.
As I said before, it's our first time, so all the explanations from your side have been really, really complete and clear. So I've listened to everything carefully, and everything is clear so far.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I don't know if Carlota is there from the Gabiente. Hi, Carlota. You are muted, Carlota. You are muted. Now it's okay.
For me, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Romina is okay with you, or she's not with you?
Romina couldn't be here, but I will report what you are saying.
Okay, thank you very much. Best regards to her. So we move now to the yes.
They have come upon certain with the schools,
Yes.
and
Okay.
they give us tips in case you have, or a risk that you might anticipate, and we can look in the response plan. Just if you thought of something.
To summarize the risks presented by Bessie, perhaps Bessie, you throw them back.
Is it more about the implementation?
Yeah. Similar risks. Maybe they have happened to you, some difficulties, previous projects, we can anticipate.
Okay.
We have to discuss this risk management because we had recently an audit from the national agency, and one of the things that we were asking is how did we deal with the risk management and what measures did we take and how we documented this. So it's very important at least to include it in the conference, the meetings.
Yeah. Well, the first thing is that already now we mean it, we show them the minutes, so we have the minutes of this meeting and the minutes of the discussion of the risks, which is important. And we may review them again rapidly, and you put it full screen, same. So the first one is limit the synchronization among partners, which is a very common thing, because in many projects we see that some partners are very late. So if one partner is very late in a specific task, it might be of no importance. For example, now we need to receive from you material you have already or particular references that we need to take into account. If someone does not send that, doesn't matter so much because we continue with the rest we have. But if there is another activity where someone has to train trainers or to implement things in a school and he or she does not manage to do that and postpones that for next semester, we are out. We are really out. So this is a real risk. And the only thing we can do here is to make sure that everybody understands how we can improve what else we have to do. The only thing here is to make sure that everybody understands the commitment. How we can convince the agency about this, that we keep every day and every quarter, every day with the system explained, and every quarter with the monitoring in a formal reporting and all that. And that's it. Is constant and open communication as it's there. It might be that we can have some safety net if we see, for example, that somebody is late in starting something for which we definitely need his or her contribution. What? We cannot replace persons. It is very difficult.
Since we can, organizations, we cannot replace.
Okay, I mean,
Partners, we cannot replace. We cannot, it's very difficult to replace partners. Now that the project is being.
but we cannot really replace persons if the organization does not do that. The only thing is that we have to understand that here we have two, actually, we participate in a dual capacity as persons, experts, educators, and as entities. So we have this also dual responsibility. If someone, for some reason, cannot deliver, the entity needs to take place to replace him and or support him in addition to what they had originally designated as contributor. This is the only thing you can say, and you can mean it.
We can present that it's not person. It could be
Both.
both at least. And then to find the way how
But Vasily, what I phrase is what we maximum can say. What we say is that the responsibility is of the entity. The persons are the ones who are here, are the designated persons by the entity. And definitely, if there is a problem with these persons, it is the responsibility of the entity to replace them in order to deliver on time. That is very important, and it should be clear and limited because we all understand what are the legal consequences. On the second thing, the scarcity of resources, there is nothing we can do at the moment because the resources are from the beginning defined. So we cannot actually, there is no remedy for that. So this is all we can do. And actually we can share also the costs of additional, we are not asking, I mean, we deposit the money for all these years, but the costs somehow.
Perhaps delaying payments from the national agency might be a risk.
You have quality here.
For example, that the advance payment is not on time. Many of the partners pay on their own funds, what then the people,
Okay.
that might be a problem.
Please add it here, add it there. And what we have as coordinators to do is to put pressure to the agency for early, let's say, payments or whatever, for meeting their commitments, following what is described. Now, the dissemination of materials is insufficiently developed. Review dissemination tools to fit with quality plan standards. This is a usual problem. a very usual problem. And this is why I mentioned what I mentioned before about the language, because we have in the past we had very poorly drafted texts, and the excuse was the language. So let's try to avoid that. And this is, it's also with quality plan standards, and it's the only deliverable. Because it's already in a chain. So this is something this is one of the measures that we have introduced here to make sure that we have a good quality text. And we said, okay, let's use the native languages, So then we go to the problematic collection delivery of supporting documents. I don't think about the only problem here are the deadlines. Okay, all the rest are doable. So here again, it's a matter of of all partners to deliver on time. And insufficient involvement of target groups. These are two types of groups. The groups we have described already, the educators and pupils. And there is another group, the parents, society, and the rest, which is in the hands of each one of the partners. If you don't have them, it will be insufficient. But we advise that we make the contact early enough and communicate these contacts with us, so all of us know that, for example, we are not going to have only the school of Pyrgos, but also the society or the parents or whatever. Let's plan it. We have time for that. Let's plan it for each one of the demonstration areas. What else can be done? Reach also other target groups that are not the main two target groups that we have described in the proposal.
And also, we have alternative groups that we can add.
Yeah, but I see how we can reduce the risks. We need to address this early now, know that what else we are going to do in order to make sure that we reach them. If we have additional, it doesn't matter, but we need to have a minimum list of the groups that we are going to be involved. What is you have one more?
No, these are
all the risks. So
what we need to add with
yes,
contribution, your experience from previous projects, risks that came up when they were new, or something that was identified during a similar project. Please send us your solution.
you can add there the major, the force majeure, like COVID, for example, like Gaza, like things that go beyond the normal. The normal. But we had that. So we may need to have them there, but some of them cannot have from our side any reliable, let's say, alternative. We can meet on a boat when we have fully flat. Okay. So this is
related, which is something that is close.
We make closure, we have styles of the features, the things. We have to add them there, but we cannot really. I mean, we can't say that we replace the days or these. Usually, when we have strikes or closures, they give additional time. We follow actually this kind of things we need to describe, but at the same time explain that it is very difficult to have alternative, replacing the time of lectures or whatever is very difficult. I don't know if there is some. Yes, please. In the last speaking,
I have a question. How can we cope with the lack of motivation on the part of other teachers? How can we cope with the lack of motivation from the part of other teachers? Let's say they do not want to involve in this project. So what can we do?
For impact results surveys, but because these of course are very important, but they are related to general projects and their management and their quality. But something that has to do with implementation of this specific one is somehow the flexibility, the availability of the teachers, their willingness, the motivation.
Well, the only way out is early massage. This is the only thing it's doing.
With Greek schools now, we have the service training activities in the school, so we can support school and them to participate.
Yeah, this is very well. We can because we don't have too many schools here, but the ones we have, we may actually help you. This is something we can help you in helping in coming, let's say, and discussing with your colleagues their mistakes about the project and try to mobilize them, to inform them, to make them feel that they are part of it. Perhaps if this is something that we can do, we have schools, we can do that. And they travel some of the students that can with you to meet your colleagues and somehow.
Is there any other?
It's incentives. Well, the incentives in our case are all ethical. So we need to remain in this ethical, moral incentives. What we can do, of course, is that your school, yourselves, but also the other colleagues who join, will have a higher, visibility. They will meet with a group of experts already. Important to be part of a circle of people who have the knowledge and the courage to do this kind of things. I think we cannot go much further than that, and we should not. Because what else you can imagine?
If some cases And you talk about the certificate at the end of the project. Okay, let's say that we're talking about primary school teachers and students that attend at the 5th and the 6th grade. Maybe it could be a motive, a positive motivation if this program would have a continuation in the gymnasium grades.
We cannot
How about that?
promise it. This is, as you know, these are projects. I mean, we compete for these projects. Even if we promise that we are going to submit the proposal for the follow-up after 4 years, 3 years, we are not sure at all that we have it. We cannot promise this. What we can do is to have certificates of attendance, of participation for the teachers, which has a value because it will have 2 universities. I have already, I mean, I'm here as a MIO, but I'm here also in my capacity as professor of the University of Athens and the chair. So we have the University of Crete and the University of Athens.
I believe you. I believe you. You have persuaded me.
So this is what I mean.
However, I believe that you also would like this program to have a continuation. Is this correct? So it could be a positive motivation for some teachers, I believe.
Well, it is not even a promise. It is just presenting the potential.
Okay.
I mentioned already potential follow-up under the West program. This doesn't mean that necessarily every school and every organization will have something to offer there. If we need to manage our product to be accepted as a basic, let's say, document or as a tool for expansion in the rest of the Mediterranean. Again, the main thing there will be visibility and moral support. It's not, any financial or
No, I'm not talking about
Yeah.
finance. Okay. Thank you very much.
welcome.
We'll continue if
Have ideas.
I have ideas and we are going to discuss them during dinner.
Okay. Okay. This is a promise under conditions.
I promise.
That's good. Okay, so
We have a short break.
yes, we have a short break.